Hey, Honey Wash Day. This is Toksa Hour, and I am Maggie Ross, coming to you live from Porcupine, South Dakota, along the Porcupine Creek where the porcupines roam. Who would ever thought that would become the slogan? I hope you have your coffee. I have mine. I'm missing my rainbow cup. My granddaughter's put it somewhere, and I haven't been able to find it. It's been a few weeks. I usually have my rainbow cup in an effort to support the LGBTQ2 community. Anyway, so hopefully I'll get one again. And I wanted to tell you guys too that I am working on gifts or what do you call it? Like swag. I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. So some of you, I'm going to be sending you some gifts because you have always been here supporting me, and I surely appreciate it. We're coming on. I was telling you this last week. September 20th is going to be Toksa Hour's fifth fifth birthday. So I've been here with you. Had some co-hosts that came and went, and I'm still here reporting whatever it is that I'm reporting. Shoot. So it's the last day of August. August 31st. That's amazing. It's so amazing that it is August 31st. It is signifying that we are closing out our summer now, even though summer lasts until September 20th, 21st. But we are moving. We're back into school. Just a lot of things happening for the end of August going into September. We also have Labor Day. So this is the Labor Day weekend. And in Porcupine, down or up the creek, we would say, up the creek, we would have, oh no, it's down the creek, down the creek, the creek, down the creek. I don't know. Anyways, up the creek. I'm pretty sure it is up the creek because we used to say that when we were young. I'm going up the creek to Auntie Carmel's. I'm going up the creek to Grandpa Billy's. I'm going up the creek. Anyway, so there is our annual Wacipi, and I don't even know what year this is that we're celebrating. I don't know if we started the Wacipi. I should do a history segment on the Wacipis on the res. Did we start them back in 1934, or were they something that were before then? Back to the 1800s when they put us on the reservation. Like when did we start developing these Wacipis in our communities? And how did they change? So long ago, like you'd have these community gatherings of Tioshbae or Tiwahe. They come together and celebrate different things, socialization. So how did that all change and how does it become today? And then down the road a ways, say if you went northeast from where I am in Porcupine, there is the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. They're having their Wacipi, and their Wacipi is much bigger than Porcupine's. And then I thought I saw the Crow Nation was having theirs, but I could be wrong. Things to do to remember next year is to create a powwow list so I could advertise powwows all summer long. Who's doing what? And Wacipis have become this kind of like a overall way we celebrate. Travel around, you hit different reservations, different powwows. They're all over the United States. Some are big money, some are just small traditional powwows. And a traditional powwow is you're not giving away money. You might have gifts and you might have a lot of honorings. So the honorings and giveaways, those are kind of what traditional powwows are about. And then you have contest powwows, and that's some of them have big money at stake at some of the contest powwows. our contest Wacipis. And Wacipi is Lakota word, Dakota word, Nakota word for dancing. And so powwow is, I think that, where does powwow come from? I think it's let me ask. Hey. Okay, it says the Algonquin. Powwow comes from an Algonquin word, originally from the Narragansett or Massachusetts languages, spelled something like P-A-U-W-A-U, powwow, or powwowing, which is referring to a gathering. Anyways, so that's where the language, that word comes from. It comes from the Northeast. But of course it would come from the Northeast, right? Because they're the first people, first contact, and so it's their language that gets kind of introduced and incorporated into American life. So that's going on. Powwows can often, or Wacipis, they often they incorporate a lot of things. So we will be cooking. So cooking is done in a way like at the Pine Sinte powwow, what they do is they put it out there to families. So families come forward and they provide the meal. So whatever meal it is, if it's the morning meal, lunch meal, evening meal, whatever it is, a family comes forward and they cook. So their whole family comes forward and they cook for everybody that comes to the Wacipi. And so that's a standard practice, whether you are commercial or traditional, I believe. You'll have families that come together. Or sometimes they might have money to pay people, so they might be able to pay people to come together and cook. But the meals during a Wacipi are free. So you might walk into the arbor and walk around, and there's concession stands selling food. What is being prepared at the cook shack is all free to the people. I mean, the people get to eat, come to eat. And a lot of times those meals are around traditional cultural foods. So you might get haniga. Somebody might be making that at a Wacipi. And haniga is like tripe or menudo, but without spices. It's the tripe and it's hominy, and there's like potatoes or turnips or squash. Some people put squash in there. So there's a variety of ways in which people will make it. Corn, but there'll be a big pot of that. There might be some buffalo stew. There is probably going to be like roast or something like that. The meal that gets provided, fry bread or gabu. I don't know if they make gabubu bread. There'll be like fry bread or maybe oven bread. Things like that. The food there is more traditional, and there's always usually a long line. And long time ago, everybody used to have to bring their own uh, plates, utensils. So I remember that as a young girl. So we would set up our camp, and if we're going to go get in the chow line, then we had to make sure we took our things. And sometimes you might take a watecha bucket if there's any, left, or you might take a bigger bucket like a watecha bucket, and that's what you're going to get your soup in to take back to camp. And everybody would get their soup out of that. But yeah, so that's kind of how they deal with that. So when you're in the arbor and you're walking around, usually you're paying for whatever you're going to get there, drinks, their concession stands, drinks, food, whatever. But at noon and at 5 o'clock is when they feed, and they might have a breakfast, coffee or whatever like that in the morning for those guys that are camping out and getting up early. But that's what they do. And so grand entry is usually like 1 o'clock after the chow line, and 7 o'clock. So Yeah, that's kind of the basics of like powwow 101, Wacipi 101. And then so if you're doing traditional, uh porcupine is kind of a traditional. They sometimes they do contest prize, and sometimes it's day money. So day money is just, like you go and you get like maybe $5. They give you $5 or something like that, day money. Let's see. So in on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, when Porcupine Powwow comes, that's usually winding things up. I think the last powwow on the reservation, outdoor powwow, is going to be Potato Creek Powwow. And I think that's coming up either next weekend or the following weekend. Uh, their powwow. And then the kind of end of the season powwow is the Black Hills Expo. And that is a big, big Wacipi. Huge, 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 huge Wacipi. Very big. And there's a lot of dancers. Last year, I think there were like 1,500 dancers. And I'd love to go and watch, but I also I don't want to get COVID, so I stay home. I might watch, and I get real appreciative of people who do lives and stuff like that at a Wacipi. Then I could just watch. I do miss being a part of them or sitting there. I'll go to smaller Wachipis, but it's really hard on me to go to a bigger one because getting COVID really affects you. I mean, there's a lot to it. Like you got to take sick leave. You got to, then if everybody in your house gets it, it's just not a good thing. So, yeah. And we're in the era of Trump, right? So Trump don't believe nothing. So So those are the things that are going on that I know of. I don't know of any other Wachipis going on. There could be many. There could be many. I just didn't do a search. Excuse me. So this morning the question was, so what are you going to talk about today? What are you going to talk about today on Toksa Hour? And I thought I'm going to talk about the crazy, crazy, crazy Donald Trump. Have you guys seen or heard? Have you guys seen or heard? I got a white lint on me. Yesterday it was like trending. It was trending that Trump had died. It's like it was trending. It was trending on X, it was trending on um Instagram, it was trending on TikTok, it was trending. And it was trending even in my text messages. I'm in a group text and they're texting about it, and like we could all be wishful, right? And it's like we know he's not, we know that he is not dead. And but it's like this trend that just swept everywhere. And so what is happening with this trend? What does that mean? What does it mean in the celebration of a rumor death to Trump? What does that mean? For me, like when I look at all of this, I think about, you know, white supremacy is over. That's what I think. I think that the corporate power is over. Those billionaires, I think they're done. I think that there is so much rage against the systems worldwide. Like people are upset over Palestine, upset over Gaza. Like, how can this keep on going? And how can it be like they have this organization called the United Nations? How could that be that is such a powerless? organization and be so disappointing. Canada, they did this news, CTV, they reported about Palestine and the genocide, and the Zionists got mad and raised Cain with that news network, so they had to apologize for calling it a genocide, which it's already everybody's calling it a genocide, like all the important people, like the people that know what a genocide is, they're saying this is a genocide. And having sympathy for the Palestinian people. And you still see, like in Beverly Hills community, or their what is it called? Their school board. I think it's their school board. They had a meeting and they are having, and I think this is tied. I think the school board members were at this meeting, but anyways, this was in Beverly Hills in California, where they decided that they were going to have a anti-Semitism day. And in this day, they would raise the Israeli flag. And there was a lot of people that went there and protest. And then there is this one lady, she just stops it and she says, this is ridiculous. Like there are Jewish people dying on the streets every day that are being slaughtered. It's like, where? What street? Can you tell me? So I guess that's not the news hitting my screens. Like I don't see that. I don't see them being attacked every day. I see the Gazans, I see the people in Gaza. I see that happening to them. Everybody does. And so, excuse me. So all of this stuff, is going around and it's just like festering, and people just can't stand Trump. They can't stand Netanyahu. Oh, his other name is Shitnyahu. I like that one too. Netanyahu, Shitnyahu. It is just like, and Trump is in the dump. I don't know. I like Trump. So, how is this all relevant? Like today, how is this for today, for Labor Day conversation? How is Trump relevant? Remember, he did the big, beautiful bill, and in the big, beautiful bill, he passed all this legislation rolling back protections for labor. And we think about, what is the message? What is Labor Day? So what is Labor Day? Do we know? It isn't anything like, really. I don't hear a lot of people that just come out and say, not here anyways, telling the story of the importance of Labor Day. Like even here, I'm in Porcupine, South Dakota. I don't ever hear anybody at the Wacipi saying, other than this is Porcupine Labor Day, Pine Sinte Labor Day powwow. Nobody's out there talking about the rights of the worker and like why we celebrate Labor Day. So we might just think we celebrate Labor Day in Porcupine and in Eagle Butte because it's a powwow. Labor Day is not a sacred ceremony in Lakota culture. It's not a part of the seven rights. So why do we do it? Do we just do it to do it? Just because someone said, we need a Labor Day powwow, we'll do it in Porcupine and we'll do it up here in Cheyenne River. So there's this disconnect that's occurring. So we're always saying we're different, like, and we are different. But yet we take these holidays and we celebrate them to be, we lay claim to them and not even know. So Labor Day, what is Labor Day? Labor Day has like this, the labor movement is grounded in the resistance of the United States. Labor. People of all colors, African Americans, they did the slave labor, right? They were brought in for slavery. They put that work on them, built a nation off of the slave labor. The Chinese people came and they built a railroad off of them. And so now we have the Mexicans who are coming across the border as migrants, immigrants, and then we are doing things to them. And they come and do labor. So all of these groups of people and the labor, how does that affect us? And how is Trump and the grand old party, that's what GOP stands for, the Republican grand old party, how are they anti-labor? They are. Everybody should know this. They divide us. They use corporate propaganda to divide us and make us feel like we are different. We are not the same labor. So you might have farmers and ranchers out there that are laboring out of their own business and their own farm and ranch. Some of those get so big that they have to employ people and they pay people, whether that's above the table or below the table. Gotta say that. Because some people do that, pay under the table. It is what it is. But so they pay them to do the work. And where, if farmers and ranchers, where's their work? What is their end result? Food. And where does that food go? On our tables. So when we think about what we're doing today, all of the labor that's happening in the United States and how ICE and Donald Trump and Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem is the former South Dakota governor. So like South Dakota, like what's going on? And we have Dusty Johnson running for governor now. Like he voted for the big, beautiful bill. John Thune voted for the big, beautiful bill. Mike Rounds voted for the big, beautiful bill. All of that is an attack on labor. Attack on you and I. Did you know that there's a bill coming forward where they're going to make all of us as employees, like corporations can now just give us a W-9, so it takes away any rights that we may have for work and for maybe health insurance or benefits. So we just become like a contracting workers. So then we have to pay for all of that ourselves. And if you don't know how to do that, like some people are probably saying, great, that's great. But not everybody's going to make a killing off of that, right? Like to be able to pay for all their own things because they're barely paying for what they have now. So people need to know. People need to know, and we should be sharing these messages and sharing out and letting people know because they are not our friends. They are not our friends. And so in Porcupine, here we are, Labor Day weekend, Cheyenne River, we're Labor Day weekend. We should be raising Cain over it. We should be doing stuff. We should really be big about our Labor Day celebration. Because we even have our own tribal governments that try to suppress our labor, that try to do things with our labor, or take from our labor. We have a bunch of people that they use to, or that are using our councils to pass bills so they benefit and reap the profits of it. That's what happens. And they do it because there's an incentive, like they give them money to do it. But nobody goes after that, no, because then when it comes to stuff of tribal councils and their illegal behavior, then it's tribal sovereignty. But if it's you and I, oh, they'll come after us. Yeah, that's how it works. It's disgusting. So anyways, the history of Labor Day. So Labor Day started like this big push started coming in the you know with the birth of the unions, and unions became very impactful because prior to unions you had people working anywhere, geez, you could be working from 12 to 18 hours a day. You had children working same kind of hours. You had a lot of like, there's OSHA now. OSHA is make sure that you have occupational safety, health and health, OSHA. So you had people dying on the jobs, you had people being maimed on the job, all of these things, you're being hurt for working for these corporations. And what these corporations, they didn't care, they just fire you and move on. There was no benefits. And so unions started to, workers started to get together and organize, like they're tired of it. And did you know that they used to even like put them in cages? The railroad, go research the railroad. They used to put them in a cage. That's where they would hold them so they couldn't get away. So those are really big things. Like Labor Day is huge. It should be huge, but it's probably one of our least biggest holidays. Like we're all over there like, oh, Christmas, oh, whatever, but Labor Day should be like, without labor, you wouldn't even be able to have all those other things because there'd be no money, no resources for it. So Labor Day honors the working class and our resistance. So it's not about corporations, even though now we'll have all the ads, Labor Day sales, blah, 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 the big corporations trying to get us to go buy on credit, buy on whatever, Labor Day. So the biggest thing about Labor Day right now that you should be thankful for the people that sacrificed their lives in this movement to create work safety. We get an 8-hour work day. Children cannot work at under the age of 16. We get sick leave. So if you're sick, we get the status of permanent and temporary, right? So there's a permanent worker, you have benefits, you might have health care. But we have to remember the big, beautiful bill rolled all of that back. And so if you are a GOP person, if you are a Republican, that's what you're supporting. You're supporting anti-labor. You're supporting the billionaire class. If you get behind the wall and you get behind the big, beautiful bill, that wall, all of that stuff is division. Corporations want to keep us divided so that we cannot come together on issues. That's some of the stuff that, like, I've always felt that way, but it's becoming more and more apparent as we're moving forward. Like we are seeing the decline of both those parties, I think, anyways. Like the Democrats, Gavin Newsom is the only one out there fighting. Gavin Newsom is it out of the Democrats. And he's in California and he's the only one. And he's just all like using all of Trump's messaging and style against Trump. Gavin Newsom, that's who's doing that. Who else? We don't hear anybody because they all went to Israel. All the freshman people in Congress, they all went to Israel, both Republican and Democrats. They're all Dusty Johnson, he got like 600 and some $1,000. And I think John Thune is in the millions from AIPAC and other Israel organizations. Those guys are not America first. They are lying through their teeth when they say they're America first. Because if they were America first, we would be putting our health dollars into America, not into Israel's health. There was a bill that was coming out, but I think it got stalled. But the Congress isn't back yet either. But there's a bill where they're even trying to say that we as Americans are going to pay for the health care of IDF soldiers, that we will pay for their retirement and their health care. And so I'll look for the bill number for that and share that out. So, but yeah, that's what they're like. It's crazy business, and we're all like, oh, okay, you know. It's like really, really, like what? It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Like what is going on, people? Like nobody wants to. And then we get to this place like where's resistance at? And resistance means there has to be sacrifice, right? I I participated in the general strike. I call people. I'm doing things, trying to do my part. I even am doing the BDS. Like I don't care. A lot of people are afraid, I guess, because of their job. They might lose their job, or it means that they're gonna lose everything. I remember the first time I lost everything. I remember that. And I always told myself I would never allow that to happen again. But it happened again. It happened again. So the Oglala Sioux tribe did that to me. And then it was Oglala Lakota County School District did that to me. Made me homeless. So I know. And so out of my lessons, I try not to like I really work hard to pay my debt and to not be in that situation. But even now, like even having a savings and stuff, I'm all skeptical about that because of what these bankers, like where's our money going? What retirement? That's all Israel lobby people that are running our retirement. So I've just started pulling my retirement now too, because I don't want to contribute nothing to Israel. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So let's see. So when I'm excuse me. Good morning, Raymond. I'm glad you joined. So I'm going to share an image here. All right. So this is just a Google search, so you can do a Google search for this. But this is what I want you to see. So this is what I do. I have this app on my phone, and this has a scan. So if you're looking down here, whoops, let me see if I can make that bigger. So anyways, if I could make that get out of the way, there is a scan um icon thing. See, like that. You just click on that and it'll ask access for your camera, and then you would take the barcode and then you would scan it. And then what it does is it comes back and it's going to tell you. So let's see, what does this one say? It might tell you if these are, let's see. Anyways, it'll tell you if ah, if the product is Israel. And then you could just not buy it, find an alternative. So anyways, that's what I wanted to share, the No Thanks app. Yeah, if I can get there. Mhm. Anyway, so it scans, it tells you, trying to stop share. So the No Thanks app is what I use. There's some other apps too. I haven't looked into using them yet. There's a guy named what is his name? He goes by Cancel This Clothing on TikTok. He, I can't remember his name. Anyways, he's created an app as well that ties it like to corporations and all of these different things. And so this is how we empower ourselves. We empower ourselves by using these types of apps so that we can look and we could see we're having technical difficulties over here. You're gonna have to plug it in over there. Anyway, so using the No Thanks app and using apps like that help us empower ourselves to what we're buying and purchasing. It also gives us more control of our own lives. And so I do that. I've been trying to get somebody to do it because I don't know how to do a lot of stuff like that, but maybe I might do it. Is create a online. Yeah,
What charger is on there?
no, I'm hooked up to it.
Me too, we do. That one.
That's hard to get out of there. Anyway, so excuse me. So I wanted to create, I was saying we should create a store that is safe and everything there. Because this does take a lot of time. Like you go into Walmart, you go somewhere and you scan. So there's been recognition about Target. So we've been able to impact Target with our boycott. And so Target and even Starbucks, they're like millions and billions, and McDonald's, millions and billions of dollars have affected them. They didn't get. And so when we do this together, we're able to have impact. And so that's what we need to look at. How do we collectively come together to impact things? So that's the challenge. That's our challenge. So what's on your agenda today? My agenda is working. And tomorrow we'll be working. It's a busy time, but even though I'm home, like still working, clean my house, clean my yard, help build things. Yesterday, last Sunday, we built a shed, a small shed, and so we're able to store things and getting ready for winter. So again, the transition. So we're in harvest season. I was my boss, she brought me a bunch of tomatoes. So yesterday I made 2 quarts of tomato sauce, the chunky tomato sauce. Because I don't know, my granddaughter gets into everything. So my little blender to blend it all up, or even my whisker, all of those things, I don't have those anymore, or I'm missing parts. So that's how I did it. I just made chunky tomato sauce. So I made 2 quarts. So if I'm blessed with more tomatoes, that's what I'll do. I'll make some more tomato sauce or diced tomatoes, make things like that. One of my coworkers said she's gonna bring me a bunch of she planted pickling cucumbers. So she's gonna share her pickling cucumbers with me. So I'm gonna be excited for that. And I will make cucumbers, or I'll make pickles, I mean. I have a bunch of cucumbers that got donated to my chickens because they didn't get picked right away. They stayed on the vine too long. So my chickens were very happy for that. We are not laying eggs yet. I was thinking we were, but you know what it was? My granddaughter, she's just being a little sneaky girl and she takes eggs out of the refrigerator and she goes and takes them in there. Like, oh my gosh. Just throwing me off because I'm like, what? Why don't I have eggs? And anyway, so that's what happened with when I thought I was having, they were laying eggs. So I do have like 4 too many roosters. I have 6 roosters. And so I'm giving away roosters now. It's too much. Too much roosters. Like if you have a big chicken business, I guess that's a good number of roosters, but I have too many roosters and they're just hard on the hens. So if you know anybody interested or needing a rooster, have them get in touch with me. I do have roosters. Anyways, well, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you for coming along for the ride for Toksa Hour. It is a slow process of building our platform here. I know I have to do more work. I'm working on it. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some swag and I want to start getting into maybe some giveaways. And I am linked to Substack. So even though we're here on YouTube, I also have a Substack where I announce, and I do this in Substack, and I've also been announcing or posting on LinkedIn. So different ways where I'm trying to make the connection to Toksa Hour and that we're here in YouTube world. So hopefully that all kind of works out together and we're start to rebuild this platform and get going again. I'm working on some guest speakers, so I'll have an agenda announcement soon. And what else? Oh, hey, we're getting ready for fall, so get your stuff. So if you need to go to the store and get some laths, if you need plastic, if you need whatever sealant stuff to put around your windows, you better get busy because sometimes it snows in September. So I don't want to jinx anybody or anything like that, but I think we really need to be getting ourselves ready. Check your propane. If you have extra money to put there, you should put in propane and start trying to get your tank filled up and your light bill. Make sure you pay your light bill. I'm so horrible at that. They're trying to put me on a prepayment plan now at the light company, and it's just crazy because I just forget. Oh, they turned it off. Got to turn it back on. So I'm always paying the reconnection fee and stuff. Yeah, I just have a hard time with knowing. Like even my phone bill, that happens to me all the time with my phone bill too. It's like I get too busy and then I just forget, and then it's like, oh, I don't have Wi-Fi. Better pay my phone bill. My son or somebody says the lights went off. So make it real on the reds. Anyways, that's how it goes. Get it together one of these days. So if you're in Porcupine, get down to the Wacipi and enjoy that. If you're in Eagle Butte, go enjoy your Wacipi. There's a lot of good things, a lot of good vibes and feelings that come from the Wacipi. Listening to the drum beat, and they say that's our heartbeat. Listening to that, I always do. I always get I feel good. The feel goods come from that. Take pride in your labor. Labor isn't just physical, it's also spiritual and it's also emotional. So take pride in that, the work that you do. Honor yourself, honor your dad, honor your mom, honor your brother, your sister. People, we all work hard, so we should honor that, and we should actually um have respect for labor, for the person that works. We used to be working people, not in the context of capitalism, but we were always on the move and we were always preparing as people, and we always were doing. So we were always working. We were labor efficient people. We knew how to do that. So let's reclaim it. Let's be proud of it. Let's encourage each other to be doers. Let's do things to move us and get us away from government control. It's our right. It's your right. We need to be able to be self-sufficient, take care of ourselves and get rid of the dependency. Like, this dependency is just doing us in. Tribal debt for the Oglala Sioux tribe. I can't speak for any other tribe, but the Oglala Sioux tribe, we are about 300 and some million dollars in debt. And so we need to be addressing that. We need to be addressing that debt, because all we're doing is making more debt. And as tribal people, if we are so in debt, we could lose ourselves, So we need to be aware of that. Let's see. So if you're not following me on Substack, I am. Let's see here. Who am I on Substack, Cave? I am. Oh, internet is starting to slow down. Oh, hopefully it's not slowing down here. But I am Maggie Ross, I believe, on Substack. What's going on with my browser stuff? It's just I'm at Red Flower. That's who I am. That's who I am. I'm at Red Flower. So you can find me on Substack, and I am Margaret Ross on LinkedIn. I might get off LinkedIn though, because LinkedIn seems like it's more, it's becoming a spying thing. So like they want to see where you're working at and then try to, I don't know, manipulate shit. So I'll probably get off LinkedIn. But anyway, so there's Substack. That's where I'm at. You can find me there, and I'm Maggie's Garden on TikTok. So if you're looking for me on TikTok, that's where I'm at, Maggie's Garden. Anyways, I want to say thank you guys again for joining and for being consistent and persistent with me. This is not an easy journey all the time, to give my Sunday and for you to give your Sunday, when, we know this is church day for some, this is, family get together day, or this is clean your house day or whatever. So we know that. And so I appreciate it. Be gentle with yourself and be proud of your work. Again, happy Labor Day. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a safe weekend. Please do not drink and drive. Please buckle up, and please watch for pedestrians. Children are all over the place really fast. So always be careful of that and watch for them. It's a holiday. Also know that they are probably doing what do they call those, saturation patrols, or they're probably doing roadblocks, road safety checks. So be safe.